Hello, my name is Harry Goldberg. Now, a lot of people think that there is no connection between art and science. The fact is, this statement is wrong. There are many connections between art and science. Both, you have to think outside the box, you have to be a good artist in both of them. What do I mean by that? Well, you have to be a good photographer. You have to be a good graphic designer. You have to know how to make a model or a rough sketch of what you're going to do, and both of them. So you can keep track of your experiments and your observations, so you can make it look good when you're delivering it to someone more professional, and a rough sketch of like the growth of, say, a plant, and you have to be serious in both of them. What do I mean by this? Well, a lot of people think that art is just a bunch of fun and games and science is serious, probably. And a lot of other people probably think that art is very serious and sciences are just a bunch of fun and games. They're both very serious. They're to convey a message. They're to educate. They're to explain what they think. They're to learn. What do I mean by thinking outside the box? I mean, you have to be creative. One time, I was in an art exhibit, and everyone else was doing, there was a theme. It was war. And when I went, I saw everyone else was doing like sculptures of tanks, or paintings of tanks and cars and guns and stuff like that. But mine was the card game one. Another thing was in science. One time I had an assignment and I was supposed to come up with an experiment to see what kind of material is the best. I found it, and what I did was I took rocks and sand and dirt and I put them in separate cups in the freezer. Not in the oven, but in the freezer. And that's the kind of thing that normal scientists and artists have to do every day. You have to think, both of them think like each other. They're both creative, they both like to explore, and they both want to be first to do something, and they want to share it with the world after they've been first to do it. The arts affect the science, and the science affects the art in many different ways. Let's say a painter knows about a disease, and he does a painting of what he thinks about the disease. A scientist is doing an experiment. He sees the painting, does the experiment from a second person's perspective, as well as his own, and that will give them many different results and probably more accurate conclusion. Michelangelo, the famous artist, is known for his sculptures and his paintings. He liked to paint people. What he did was he studied the human body to find out how to help make his art a lot more real. And this is just one of the connections. The example of the artist doing a painting, it could go the other way. A scientist could do an experiment, and the artist could be working on a painting and say, hey, let me do the painting from this other person's perspective. And that could make him come up with a whole new painting. You have to understand the human eye and the human body to make different things, such as a camera. You have to be a good photographer in art. You have to take something from the right angle, and you have to put it in the right place to make good photography art. In science, you have to take pictures to see things exactly as they happen, not just maybe as you remember. What questions are they trying to answer? They're trying to answer some questions. They're both trying to answer a lot of the same questions. They have to answer them to do their job. What can I learn from this? How can I help the world? How can I educate with what I'm doing? How can I learn? Where can I go next? Where will I go? And you have to know an answer to all these things to do paintings or experiments on the world around you. The goals are very similar in art and science. Be creative, do something different, create something new, make the world better, and help people. You have to get money too. I mean, everything in the world costs money, especially something expensive like canvas or the high-grade equipment that some scientists use to do their studies, or paint, or the materials that need to be used, or the variables that are going to be tested. You have to have money for all of those. And it's one of the goals to get donations and grants from people to continue with your work. And these are all the goals. These are a lot of the goals that are similar in art and science. Art and science better each other. Without art and science being connected, the world would be a very different place. Science wouldn't be as high-tech as it is. Art wouldn't be as accurate as it is. It's just amazing how much art and science have in common. They need to stay together. And many people don't know this. If we didn't have art and science, then we wouldn't want to make a camera. If we didn't have science and art, we wouldn't have cameras to take pictures with in art. They are very similar, and many people don't know this. Thank you.